Hello, gamers! Welcome to episode 28 of GamersGalaxie. I am your host, WT, and today we have a plethora of news, information, and analysis regarding the Immutable ecosystem, and we're going to break that all down for you in just a little bit. But before we do that, I want to talk to my favorite co-host, the one, the only, Rubick. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, mate. Yeah, I'm pumped for this episode. We've just been collating all the information, getting it all together so that the audience doesn't have to worry about all that. They can just come here and get all the important stuff broken down to a shortest period of time as we can. And this one, again, is a huge piece of chunk of information in just less than 2 weeks of gathering it all. So I'm excited to get into this one and share all the updates about Immutable ecosystem like you are.
Yeah.
Good to be with you as well, mate.
Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, you're not lying. People can't see it, but I probably got like 60 tabs up right now of things. But before we jump into what we're going to talk about this week, you threw out just last night this top 100 Immutable games, this roster. It's absolutely amazing. I went through it. I did one myself. You did one. I'm actually looking at it right now. For those on the podcast, you can't see it. You'll have to go and check the video when we pump it out. But this was rather impressive, and I had to give you a salute on putting this together. I think it was a great idea. The GamersGalaxie team is doing it, and we'll see if more people in the Discord chip in what they think. It'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. We should probably post it, shouldn't we, and get them to do it and post it into a chat somewhere, into a forum, into a thread, and see if we can get 20 or 30 people doing it. Yeah, it was fun. It took a lot of time, and also like I got banned from Twitter because I tagged too many people, and they said you've tagged too many people. So I tricked them and did all these little tricks to get them all in there, and all of a sudden my Twitter just went, you're a bot. It's like jump through all these hoops to get my account back, but it was worth it. There's a lot of people watched it and commented, and a lot of the games founders and games themselves retweeted and liked it, and we're happy just to make the list, even though some of them are in below 100. But yeah, the amazing thing is there's over 100 games on Immutable, and of that 100, like it was so hard to choose a top 50. Like,
oh yeah,
there's games in 80 and 90 that I'll play. You know what I mean? Like and like, I'll play Last Resort. It's in 76 or 74. I mean, Cool Cats. You know, I'm not a massive Match 3 fan. It's down at 95, the most interesting game for me. But I'm gonna play it. You know, so yeah. It was I thought it was a really cool way to do it. Is that what you're pumped about, not what you rate the game, because the games aren't out yet. Half of them, some of them don't even have gameplay. So, it's more about what they're saying they're going to build and what you know about it and how pumped you are for it. So it's more of a very, and I wrote a 10 or 11 point biases that I have with making my decisions. Some people comment on that as well. But yeah. A bit more coming on that soon as well. We'll do a bit of content piece on it where I've got this idea where we can put it together, churn some data out, and just talk about it as a group of 4 people that are in the team.
Yeah. So we were looking over all those games and rating them, and I don't think these ones are on there yet that I'm aware of. It's some projects that are building an Immutable CryptoMon. It's a BNB migration to the Polygon network. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's I found it listed on the Immutable Play page, and they're actually migrating right now to Polygon Proof of Stake. So interesting that they're going to do that, then to migrate to Immutable later on. But yeah, I guess if it's months away from being open to everyone, then they would need to get it on to a better chain. And BNB's old chain is absolute junk, mate. It's causing, with the amount of games they've got on it, they have a lot of issues with it stabilizing and the blocks having to redo again, so lots of errors. So you're going to see a lot of BNB games that aren't going to go to the OP BNB stack and just go to somewhere else that's got a better technology.
Yeah, I'm looking at the main page here. It's very clean. They've got all the elements. I was looking through it and I was like, oh, it's a trading card game. But then I started looking at it a little bit more and I was like, man, this is kind of like Alluvium, maybe a little bit. Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah, so it's a monster collector, CryptoMon. So Mon being Pokemon, collect a game, battle monsters. It's a bit pixelated. Kagi, our mate, we'll talk about it a bit later. Loves this game and claimed that it's better than Illuvium. So it must be good. It's going to be a great surprise if he finds out it's on Immutable, because you know how much he loves Immutable.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty crazy. There's another one. Looks like it's coming from B&B also. This one I was a little confused at. Battle Fort Knox. I don't know why, but they only have 4 followers, which just blew me away. But they have a mobile game that's on the Apple Store, I believe Android as well. It looks decent. I'm not gonna say it's like the best game ever, but it looks decent. The 4 followers threw me off. I was like, how is that even possible?
You must be on the wrong account, mate. It's a BFK Warzone. It has 4,833 followers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm on the wrong one.
Be careful what you click on that link, mate.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was like, this doesn't even make sense. I'm
Yeah.
looking at it. I'm looking at the website. The website looks clean. They got a team on there, and I was checking out their YouTube page, and yeah, I mean, I actually downloaded the game real quick and checked it out. It's a 2D, oh, what the heck they call it? 2D something, 2D
Battle game, action based. Yeah.
play to earn 2D shooter with an NFT marketplace. So yeah, it looked pretty interesting.
Side scroller style game, Worms. Yeah, they're a Australian team. They're it's like they've got all the ideas for kitting out your heroes and guns and stuff. So heaps of use for NFTs, and they've got like 4 sets already. So it'll be interesting to see when they come over to Immutable, and if they go multi-chain or stay on just Immutable when they do. I'm not certain about what's going to happen there yet with that sort of thing, but yeah, it looked like very degen guys, old school developers, and people who've been around for a while building games, and saw the typical story of seeing an opportunity with a new technology to do something different, and it's simple, but it makes sense because you're building up, getting stronger, to get further in the game, and you own that progress, which I think is a really good use case for Web3 NFTs.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. And this next one that we're going to be talking about, Ender's Gate. I don't know much about this one. It looks like a trading card game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
trading.
There's a lot of trading card games. I'm getting a little concerned about the amount of trading card games out there for this space.
Personally, I honestly think trading card games are the most, it's not the most fun game, but it's the most sense. It makes the most sense for Web3. You collect cards, and you use a currency to craft, and you versus one in a PvP. It's very simple. It's you own your cards, you spend the coin to upgrade the cards, and you earn the coins by winning. It's like a simple trifecta. It's every single card game has the same model. There's no reason not to own it. If you can say, there's arguments for everything. Like MMOs, it's too difficult to manage it, and right now it's World of Warcraft's economy is broken. And that not because of gold farmers and stuff. That it used to be anyway when I used to play it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is there's no way to break the economy. As long as the game stay consistent and it doesn't drop off too fast, you can keep the economy stable and the value of the token stable. And it makes sense to own the cards. If you're paying for them, you own them. You can sell them. It just makes a lot of sense. So and it's also much easier to make. They're 2 years to maximum to build, minimum to build, or to get the MVP out. 3 years to be fully complete. And so in a game with a team of 10. So it makes sense. That's why it's happening. A lot of people are going, let's let's try Web3 out with this card game first and see how the response is. People are feeling it, getting experience. Look across the ages. They're building an MMO off the base of the success of their card game. That's the right way to do it, Mike.
The card graphics look sick. I'm looking through it as you're talking here.
Yeah.
Very clean, very polished. Love the graphics on it.
Yeah, they look like they're multi-chain, they're scale,
Yeah.
consensus, and Polygon Immutable. So, are they out already? I'm not sure why do games go multi-chain. I still to this day don't understand. Like, I guess maybe if they're out already and they're not succeeding, maybe I don't know. But they have got powered by Polygon on their home on their Twitter back page, like their banner ad. So maybe it's going to be Polygon Immutable, and it's on the other ones now. Probably should have done a bit more research. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. It looks good.
Yeah, I like the way it looks. Like the way it looks. I just noticed that there's so many TCGs out there right now that we've actually been talking to some of them lately, and it'd be interesting to see how that all plays out. But next up, we've got MetaClash, Digital Avatars of Destruction. This one's got 20K followers, not too bad. Looks like, oh man, this really reminded me of. There's this game, or not game, it's a running app called Dust, and I could have sworn a lot of the graphics from that were in this, and obviously it's not the same thing because it is like a tank style MOBA, a 3D tank MOBA, something like that. A little bit different than I'm used to seeing, and I actually found some game footage. I got that up right now, and it looks pretty crazy if this is how it plays.
The graphics look pretty good, don't they?
Yeah, it looks.
Yeah, it's this one again. It's Sakya, the chief executive. No, where is it? Chief gaming officer, chief operating officer, chief visionary officer. Chen Jian Hyong. Are you in control of the name of the game? Yes.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up too. I seen that and I thought of you right away.
I literally was talking to someone about it today, like in the Immutable team, and I went meta. I can't remember what it was called. I literally could not remember what the game was called. I literally just looked at it, and then 3 minutes I was talking to him about something because I wanted to confirm that it is building on Immutable because these ones haven't announced that we found them on the Play Store, on the Play app, and I was just getting confirmation that they are building on Immutable, and they are. So I had to go back, look up the game, and go, and there it is. It's got this MetaClash, just give you an awesome game that you've designed, something unique and cool as a name. Like, don't make people not remember your game name because there's so many metas. I can't believe people are still doing it or haven't pivoted away from it yet. Like, if you just go, you know what, it's a great name when we first announced it 3 years ago, but we didn't realize 500 people are going to name their game Meta or something, so we will change our game name. Other than that, I'm looking forward to playing this one. It's a MOBA, it's a shooter MOBA, 5 vs 5, and it's, collect all the things and you own them. It's like my dream of a MOBA that you own the things you do and earn in the game or buy.
Yep, very cool. Definitely want to check this one out too. I like what I'm looking at it so far, and hopefully it plays as good as it looks. So coming up next, we've got this one really caught my eye. I absolutely loved Red Dead. Was it Red Dead Redemption it was called? Did I get that right? Was it Red Dead Redemption, the old game? I think it is.
Yeah.
I played the first one, not the second. Absolutely loved that one, the Western theme, and Coinbureau's got an article up about Web3's wild-themed Vendetta games is the latest game coming on Immutable Zkevm.
The game's called Chalk River, and the Vendetta Games is the game developer building it. And but they are branded as Vendetta Games everywhere, and you have to go into their web. Did you go into their website?
Briefly.
Mate, bring that up if you can. I think it's linked on. If you click on their homepage.
I apologize. I thought it was Vendetta Games, so that's what I brought up. I have the website up, and it goes into. It looks like it's going into the game. Okay, it pops up Chalk River. That's kind of misleading. Yeah. They should have that up at the top,
But how good does that like that the scenery look like. The movement and the player kind of movement and the poly count on the player doesn't look so great, but the actual scenery of the background is amazing. Like I'm willing to write off, even if they don't fix the poly count or the movement feel on the game.
Mm-hmm.
That graphics on the, that's in-game graphics, mate. It looks like I'm in a Western movie. Like it's got a real cool art style to it. I really love it, and if they can just polish up that movement on the players,
Yes.
and the kind of poly count, a bit higher poly count on the player movement and player, what's it I'm looking for? Model. Yeah, that it could be a top. It could make my top. It wouldn't have made the top 10 of my list that we just did. It would have made probably top 30, 20 or 30 for me. It would have put a few of the ones. Mate, it's getting hard to make a top 20, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's so hard.
And I totally see what you're talking about the animations feel a bit clunky. That needs to be polished up, and the graphics. And like they have a scene in there where they're playing cards like you're at a Western playing, some form of gambling. Like, if they could have polished those cards up a little bit better too. They look like almost like the old school solitary cards, if you remember that, how they used to be on like Macs or Windows from the 90s. Yeah, they could definitely use a little polishing on the graphics, but it does look pretty decent though. Like they got something here. The background, I see what you're saying about the background images. Is really, really cool.
Yeah, the way they've done the art on the background, like when you're running through a town or the scenery of a landscape, it looks really amazing. But it's just when you're up that model up close is where they just need to polish, and they will. If they've got the capability to build the environment that good, that can be changed pretty easily. Like that's something you just update it. Like the background scenery is way more detailed, and look at all the detail on the wood and that. It's just so good. Yeah, mate.
So would you say that this Chalk River is pretty much confirmed for Immutable, Rubick?
Yeah, initially they announced it themselves, and the official account. And a few of the Immutable employee sales guys responded saying they're excited about this one. So, yeah, it's official. I count that as official. The official account responds. So, yeah, it's definitely coming to Immutable.
Fantastic. Next up, we've got Heroes Chained. When I read this, I was thinking, is this like an offshoot of Gods Unchained? But no, it's not. Heroes Chains is an immersive fantasy RPG adventure where you step into the role of a guild master assembling an array of heroes. They got really descriptive in their profile, which I kind of like. It's better than not having anything. This one, it reminded me of WAGMI Games. What'd you think?
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of what I would have liked GOG to be, when I see with the medieval kind of theme, heroes, and you form a team, but it looks like it's more strategical than an idle builder. So yeah, we'll see. I haven't really done a lot of research on it, I'm going to be honest with you, but it's like a card game mixed with, it's kind of like Shardbound and Guild of Guardians combined. So yeah, I think it was an AVAX game. Yeah, it's still got the AVAX symbol. This is the first game of a couple that have been poached from AVAX.
Oh, this came over from AVAX.
Yeah, if you see, they got the red upward triangle.
I didn't notice that before.
Yeah, there was another big one announced recently too.
Do you think that's part of the whole beam thing, or is it separate?
I just think it's, like AVAX had those subnets and they were super advanced, and they won a lot of games, but they're isolated on their own chain. There's no interoperability between games. There's no ecosystem. Like you build a subnet, you're on your own. You go build your own marketplace. Everyone has to build their own tools. So this is that, I believe, Immutable's passport, all the tools we've talked about over the last 6 months in this pod. And it coming together, and people just seeing, well, I can go and build quicker, faster, easier, cheaper on Immutable than AVAX. And AVAX is going to catch up. We're supporters of AVAX on this channel, and we're considering expanding to AVAX as well, but I think it's in the end, not many games are going back that way to AVAX at the moment, and that could change. But at the moment, it just seems to be a few wins for Immutable coming this way.
I've noticed a handful of these games we've talked about, like as I'm looking through them, they're all have the download on the App Store or get it on Google Play. Like it looks like a majority of these that we've been talking about are all mobile. I'm gonna have to check these out and get them downloaded and just play with them and see how they play test for me, if I'm able to.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Immutable's expertise for mobile as well. Like it's passport for simple sign-on. In the knowledge of what works with the app stores, legally and all that kind of stuff as well. They've been there, done it with GOG. They're doing it with the Gods Unchained. They're about to launch their mobile now, so they've done it in 2 games, their own games that they build, not publish. So you can see that knowledge is, AVAX does not have that experience in their team.
Yeah, you're talking about that, and my wheels are turning here. I wonder if they have a much better relationship with these app stores than some of the other chains, or, not that the other chains don't have any relationship, but I wonder if, they've got the groundwork laid already, and that could be a catalyst to launch Immutable ahead, possibly, if that's the case.
Well, if you go to the head of development at someone that's never built a game on a like someone in AVAX is like legal that's never ever had to worry about a game being on mobile before, because everyone's their own island, building their own chain and their own game, and they have to go and do it themselves, or they go to Immutable and they go, yeah, we've got a legal team that can tell you about that. Yeah, we've got a head of development that can tell you about how and we've got a head of tokenomics that can tell you how you can have your tokens, integrate into the game. I think that's what's happening. We're speculating, but that's what I think is happening. Why Immutable's winning so many games.
Pure speculation. We don't know, but yeah. I'm just noticing the trend. I'm like looking at these games, like, man, these are all mobile, so it's pretty cool. But anyway, moving on.
Whilst the speculation is pretty, excuse me. Whilst the speculation is pretty obvious to see, that's probably true as well.
Right.
It's high. It's educated guess, you know what I mean? Like not just blindly shooting from the hip.
Right. This next one, I don't know why, but the logo it's got like this green, I don't know, is that a hexagon? It's got like this kind of funky twig-like thing in the middle of it. It's Uforika? Do I get there?
Yeah, I think it's a play on the word euphoria.
Yeah.
But
I'm looking at it. 56,000 followers, not too bad, and looks like an MMO metaverse. I don't know what that means. Metaverse platform revolutionizing? Why? What?
If you go to if you want to play the video where we talk about it, it's on their go their link tree, I believe it is, and go on their link tree, go to the website. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Oh, they got a huge link tree, by the way. Huge link tree. It's got all kinds of stuff to look through.
Yeah, if you go down to watch the preview on their website, from that, you can click on that. I watched that just before this video, and like I did a bit of research, and there was sort of like they've announced Immutable, and then since then on Twitter, we've always warned against this. They've then talked about their token non-stop for days on end. Mm-hmm. So I was worried that there's, that's a red flag for me. Not a deal breaker, just be careful. Could mean a number of things, like 1, scam. There's low chance of that. Immutable's going to sign a company that's a scam, but they could get through. But 2, funding. Now the game, looking at what they're building on that trailer, mm-hmm. it's quite ambitious. It's huge. It looks exciting. It's a UGC metaverse, landing on a planet, and you're building up a city as part of an environment, and then there's going to be invaders come and attack you, as well as hoverboards and all these different kind of things to do in the game. It's like a mix of a social metaverse and a game with all these different biomes of games, 7 or 8 different game versions. Mm-hmm. It's in 7 cities, you can see there, so they're all going to have different main things to do in them. And it's got like a Pokemon battle kind of theme game as the main game. It looks, if this game comes to fruition, man, and it comes to what they're advertising, it could be a top 10 game, mate. It looks amazing. They've got £10 million funding from investors. Maybe the token talk is to get a little bit more, because this game probably costs more than 10 million to make, to be honest with you. And so yeah, we'll see. I am definitely watching this one with and probably would be I had it in the 60s, probably be in the 40s now for me after doing a little bit of extra research in my top 10.
So
top 100.
I see. I was looking at it now. That's all the cinematics. That's not the actual gameplay, I don't think, because I popped up the play. Actually, I have it up right now because I remember looking at this before. The play style is a little bit different. Like the one you're talking about with the hoverboards and everything. I've seen that, but there's another video that if you look through, it don't have that same quality as that other one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah, because I got it playing right now. Well, it don't look bad. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't look bad, but like that cinema one, yeah, I was like, holy smokes, looking at this. And
the arena cinematic only. It's not actually what it looks like in the game.
No, I don't want to say that for sure. I'm not gonna play this whole video because of time.
It's clear there's lots of in it. Yeah, that's true, mate. So, well, maybe I've been, amazing cinematic, get people pumped.
Scroll through that video too. They have a comic section. That comic looks pretty sick, though. I like that. That looks cool. It's towards the end of it if you get to that video, but yeah, I was a little concerned because you know how these games, they put out cinematics and everybody's like, oh cool, and it's not quite the play style. So
yeah, I can hear that in the background. Is that me or you?
That's you. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, well, if the graphics, I don't know what graphics you're seeing. I couldn't find it, but like. So, yeah, of course, some of that cinematics, but it looks like there's some gameplay as well. So if that's all cinematic, that's disappointing. Let's get watching. I'm not buying any tokens until I see an actual gameplay. So not going to suck me in if they are. But let's hope that it's the couple of the boys again. The team said they're really excited for this game. Like some of the Immutable staff that was. Because this was another self-announced game, and Sorrow said this is one he's really looking forward to. So they know what's going on before saying stuff like that. So
yep, it's definitely one to keep our eyes on for sure, and it'd be interesting to see how they transition all that. But next one we got up is Paradise Tycoon, and I want to say this one. I was not too. I mean, it's very cartoony. There was something about this one that caught my attention. So you have fun with your friends and compete to become Ultimate Tycoon in an immersive multiplayer. This one seems like a social game. What do you think?
Mavia again. Like a Clash of Clans style game, like here is a Mavia game. So. With heaps of different little things to do, I believe. But I like the art style. It's cute. It's not, it's like, it's deliberately built that way. And it's a ex-AVAX game as well. So.
Oh, okay.
One. Yeah, this is another one of the, and it was like, one of the. Influencers that are named after a cat, like a black kind of like a big cat. Said made a tweet recently saying, "Oh, this is just such an exciting game, and it's building on AVAX." And it was like an hour,
okay.
3-4 hours after they announced that they're moving to Immutable to release an Immutable in July, and gave like this big glowing reasons why they've decided to change. So. I pointed it out to them, but they didn't respond. They'd rather stay in denial.
Oh, okay. Oh, here's what the thing was that was bugging me. Like, so I'm on their Twitch page. I got to get this to where you can see what I'm looking at to make this easier for you. So I'm looking at their Twitch page, and I'm like, this looks like the sandbox. And so they're integrated. They have a land plot, and they've integrated some side game about their game in the sandbox. So that's what was bugging me. I was like, this feels like a ripoff of Sandbox. It's not. They're just incorporating the Sandbox to promote their game pretty much. So that's what that was.
That's not the whole part. Yeah. No, look, this could be one with a clan and that. So we might get get it going once it's on Immutable. We might get a GamersGalaxie team to go with it. There seem to be guys that know what they're doing. They've got the right, putting their ducks in a row and making good decisions, and they know how to build games. And so it's another really high-profile team building. Is the game going to be our style? And to be honest, I didn't really look into it because it's not out yet on Immutable, so I haven't put a lot of. I just haven't got enough to look into every single game, like play every single game every single time. So
right.
Immutable, 10 games every time we do one of these things. How can we spend 10, the right amount of time to so I suppose probably our job to do it, but there's so many games being released.
Oh, it's insane. It's insane. But I tell you what, I am doing better than last year. Last year, I wasn't really playing the games. I was just talking about it. I have been actually playing the games this year. I've been really forcing myself to play them just to get a feel if I'm able to. And this one was just announced yesterday. Boomland? Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was.
I think it was yesterday. Yeah.
Almost 80,000 followers on X. This one looks pretty interesting. I think Robbie was very, very excited about this one. I don't see the genre of this. I'm looking for it right now.
Boomland is the developer, and Hunters on Chain is the game.
Oh my gosh!
One of your guys has got one, don't they?
What's that?
One of your community members in your other communities got the playing this game.
Oh really? Okay.
Was it Solemnly Swear is playing this game? I think
might
he was
be
just talking about it recently and he's made his money back and more, so it's doing okay. These guys. Robbie mentioned that they have got 1.5 billion downloads on 200 games that they've built. Casual mobile game builders, and this is their first on-chain game. So,
is this mobile too? Do you know?
Yeah, it's mobile.
This is like, this is awfully like the original Kill the Guardians, just very pixelated. I'm looking at it right now.
Maybe fun.
I don't know. I mean, there could be a lot more to it, but you got a guy running around and he's throwing spiders at these monsters right now, and everybody's got health bars and there's buildings, and he's by himself though. It's not like a team, or no? Does he? No, he's by himself. Okay. Oh, it looks like there's other players involved. Okay, so it's like a multiplayer. That's cool. Cool. Very cool.
Might have to look into it. I believe it's mobile. I might be wrong. I'm pretty certain it's mobile. Yeah, exciting that this is one that I followed and actually was in the Discord already, and just kept it there. Like kept it on, I muted it so I didn't have to get notifications. But now that I'm muted, and I'll follow it for the news cycles and might even play it. It looks all right.
Man, they're really throwing me off today with the studios that are producing it and not the game. I've been caught twice today. Been caught twice today.
To be fair, Boomland sounds like a game.
It did. They had me. They had me for sure.
I think you stumbled a bit with Vendetta games because that's like a Vendetta games. That doesn't sound like a game.
Man, when you go to their website, Vendetta, it's giant Vendetta. It doesn't say the other one. And then like 30 seconds later, then it pops up Chalk River. I'm like, oh, come on, man. So this next announcement, I didn't realize how big this was at first. I seen it, and I was like, oh, cool. And then when I dug a little bit more into it, this Superverse tying in with Immutable, and I believe Beam, is it? Or,
yeah.
Lots of just the Superverse. They got 240,000 followers, but the big carrot with this, obviously, this is just for marketing and gaining attention to the project of Immutable, and this collaboration is where's he at? Ellio Trades. He's the co-founder and contributor to it. He's got 720,000 followers. So you got almost 1 million followers between these two different accounts that are promoting this in the Immutable Merit Circle Beam ecosystem. It's more eyes on this ecosystem. And then on top of it, I don't know everything they do. I'm trying to get back to them, but the Superverse, I'm assuming it's almost like a guild of Web3 crypto enthusiasts that all kind of go to where they go to, almost like what the Ronin cult does, maybe. Or do you know anything about this at all with Superverse?
Yeah, it's just a little surface research just then, and it looks like they're building an anomaly layer or a layer 0, where like kind of like a portal coin kind of thing. So, and that would tell me that they're building the layer that the good games will kind of like a launcher, like kind of like, you know what, like GameStop player, yeah, and an ecosystem for reach, and they're building a blockchain as well that is powered by a super, their token, and it integrates other chains into theirs, and it will automatically swap. So the gamer only uses super, but if you're playing on an immutable game, it will swap. You know, it'll do the transactions and automatically swap into the tokens it needs to do. So it'll do the transaction on their chain, and then that chain will automatically go to the other chains and do the swap. So it's just so the gamers can have one like a Steam for all games that are good. You know, so their goal is to build a Steam, I believe.
Right.
Which is immutable. You know.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's competing with them. But it's not.
I was gonna say that, I'm listening to you, and I knew they had a token. I didn't know how they were deploying it or using it in their ecosystem. But as you were saying that, I was like, man, this sounds a lot like what Beam and Merit Circle did when they joined up with Immutable. And you know, it seems like, I don't want to. I'm just speculating here. It seems like a lot of big players in this space. They're looking at the tools and the networking that Immutable provides, and they're like, why fight it? Let's join together. And another huge partnership. I mean, 1 million eyeballs on this. 1 million eyeballs.
So yeah, it's funny that guy Ellio he has a podcast, and Robbie was on it a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago, 2 months ago. You know, got a heap of views, but think about it, he's got double the amount of followers than Immutable does, an individual does. It's kind of crazy. But I might be wrong about what I was saying and how it's going to work. But if it is, my concern is, what happens if Super becomes this like all-encompassing platform, is the go-to place, and then games go, well, we don't need to build on Immutable now, we can just build on Super directly. You know, like, is there some kind of, like, obviously Robbie's got the foresight to see that potential happening. So he's looked at what this overall thing is, the future risks, before deciding to join. So maybe their promise is to never build their own chain that does direct games and competes with them, and that they only will do, you know, individual games from other chains as a third party, and that way the games can't choose that to build on Super. You know what I mean? They have to go to a partner. But also the tools that Immutable builds, you know, like they're a long way behind that, I'd say.
Yeah. I'm hoping the former fallout of the GameStop issue was some hard lessons that maybe Immutable going forward will protect themselves better. So yeah. I thought the same thing that you mentioned. I'm glad you brought that up. So yeah, that's Superverse and Ellio Trades joining up with Immutable and working with working with Beam and Merit Circle, and very, very cool stuff. Next up, you called this out a while ago, and Robbie posted on the 4th of February, good morning GM plus happy Mon Day. And you had posted something about this a while ago. Do you want to explain that?
Yeah, well, Robbie's got excited about something Mon Day, and then the founder of Pixelmon quote tweeted him, "Happy Mon Day, next Mon mission coming soon." So and then Loopify responded to him saying Monday, and so it sounds like what I found out about was there was a leaked document that I saw, and it was about the announcement of Zkevm and what games are coming to it and that kind of stuff. And Pixelmon was on it, and I sent a response to an idol saying, "Mate, that's that's not been announced yet? Is that supposed to be announced?" And then never responded. Never got a comment from anyone anywhere, and that document was instantly updated. It was an online document, and that Pixelmon wasn't there. So I was a bit cheeky and wrote a tweet in August, 2023, but 23, saying we think that Pixelmon might be building on Zkevm. What do you think? How close to? Without saying we knew it or thought it. So it's alpha, but it's not really. Like the alpha comes from somewhere all the time. That's where it came from. So it was a very good educated guess that they're in the running for that to be actually put onto a list of games that are building. So, but it took them 6 months to come out and say that it is. Well, they still haven't said it is. And they also won Revamon, and they also won CryptoMon, according to the page we just spoke about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So could it have been that it was those two mons? But then again, it could be because that guy responded, the founder of Pixelmon, which is the biggest monster, like with the Kevin guy, Kevin, the wonky eyes, that was the meme.
Yes.
Yeah, and they've turned it around, and it's the biggest turnaround story in crypto, pretty much. They were so fighted to death, and now they're like the number one Pokemon's copycat game.
I remember that. That was crazy. That was crazy.
Between them and Luvium, they're competing for the mind share of those creature collectors in all of Web3.
Right.
So they haven't announced it yet. It's not done, but it looks pretty good for a win.
I'm looking at it right now, and you've got your tweet. It says, "Is it Happy Crypto Monday?" And above your tweet, so I'm assuming he posted this first. So he made the post, and then Robbie made a post after that with an upside down smiley face. You think there's any cryptic meaning to that?
No idea what that means. Does that mean he's up, down, up? Is it giddy with happiness? I don't know. He might be happy to have won that.
I was just wondering if there was something like you were supposed to flip upside down. I'm probably overthinking it here.
I have no idea, man. I'm not. Monster catches are just literally down the below. Even shooters for me. I just don't know why. I've never ever got into collecting monsters. That's why I've not been so excited about Illuvium. They're not in my top 10 exciting games, but the overworld excites me.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so good, but maybe I'll get into it. I didn't buy Power World, even though I went out and bought Jedi Survivor today, and it's more expensive, 50% off in Australia. Jedi Survivor is more expensive than Power World, and that's all the rage at the moment. So that kind of shows you how much interest I personally have in these monster collectors. But I'm excited about Pixelmon because we've seen the graphics. It looks awesome. It'd be interesting if we win. Yeah. It'd be interesting if Immutable wins it. But there was one other piece of evidence that I've found and decided that that's evidence anyway. There's an announcement as well where Robbie, from some page, it wasn't either Robbie didn't post it, and neither did the founder, but someone posted it somewhere, and it's Pixelmon's just done a strategic round, and so they're about to announce an investment. And one of the investors is Robbie, and he's the only blockchain infrastructure investor of the list of the picture of 10 people and where they're from. So the 10 major investors are crypto people, but only one of them was a blockchain leader or involved in a specific game blockchain where there was things like like a DeFi platform and things like that, like not a blockchain where Pixelmon could build. So it looks like they might have won the game and invested in them as well, and that makes sense why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Robbie's not going to go invest and also we'll get to it in a bit later on about, he said in an interview as well, something that may mean Pixelmon as well, but we'll talk about that later.
Awesome. Yeah. So there's just a plethora of information there. That's the word I used to start off the show, because I was looking at this and it's like, yeah, this is a plethora. So, we're going into this segment we've been doing for a couple weeks, and I actually kind of enjoy this segment. You want me to start off this week, or do you want to start off? How do you want to do this?
Start off.
What was that? Okay.
You can go, mate.
All right, I'm gonna start off this week. You usually start. I'm gonna start this week. So it's what pisses us off this week, and it's a reoccurring segment here on GamersGalaxie. And for me this week, left turn red arrows, no turn on right signs, Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren. You see, I've been driving in a car, automobile, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what they call it in Australia, but I've been driving one for pretty much 31 years now. I have better than 20/20 vision. I get yearly checked, and I'm going on 47 here, and I have immaculate vision. And as far as I know, I can judge reasonably spacing, time, and distance. I haven't been in an accident in 26 years, but for some reason, where I live, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, you can have a complete visible path of what's coming, and they will have a left red arrow that you're not supposed to turn on, or a no turn on red sign turning right. And I'm not going to say that I break the law, but maybe I do sometimes, because I have a competent brain, and they got these ridiculous laws on these things where you clearly should be able to handle that, and if you can't, you shouldn't be driving. And it really pisses me off. And you know what else pisses me off, Rubick?
What?
Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren, because they do something similar. Just like these ridiculous red arrows, red left arrows, and no turn right signs. These two bozos are keeping a third to a half of Americans trapped and wasting their time, just like these signs and these red lights that are unnecessary at times. They're keeping it. They're wasting our time with all these roadblocks that keep us out of products that could enhance our lives. And so, for me this week, left turn red arrows, right turn signs. Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren are really pissing me off.
Did they do anything specific this week, or just a culmination of everything?
No, you can go for whatever you want, man.
No, I mean, did Gary Gensler and Elizabeth Warren?
Oh,
was it the culmination of everything?
They're always doing something every week. Every week, it's just
straw that comes back.
It's been going on since the end of 2020.
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's just. Yeah. It gets old. It gets old, and I've never gone off on them, so I figure I go off on them today.
Yeah, what's pissing me off this week is the cycle of Web3 games like monetization at the moment, and how destructive it is for the industry. It's a Ponzi, and people are getting burnt, and it goes like Web3 game gets announced. Web3 promises teases an NFT drop, like a mint that will get you an airdrop, and other utilities, and then they collect a whitelist, make it FOMO, and so you've got all this information. It's always the same, in this order. There's no gameplay out yet. You don't even have a clue what the game will look like. But there's a cinematic, and there's a promise of a roadmap, and then they make you beg to get onto the whitelist, either to get a free mint or to get on the paid mint. It doesn't make a difference. If they do that right, they can do either. And then the price inevitably pumps after the sale, and lots of flippers get in and flip onto all the FOMO followers, and then time goes by and less comments happen about what's going to happen. No video comes out for the game for 6 months, and the price, all of a sudden, these things go off a cliff when some FUD hits, and then those people left holding the bag get disgruntled and leave the industry and never come back. And I have a few friends like that. Didn't happen with gaming, it happened with Dogecoin, and they just don't, and they don't want to hear enough about crypto ever again, like they're done. And that's because of of this process of how it's going. Like, that's not how Web3 gaming is supposed to happen. It's, you're supposed to play a game, enjoy it, and then want to invest because you're enjoying the game. And that's how it's supposed to be monetized. And I can't tell people how to do it, but if it doesn't change, I fear that we may never hit mass adoption. That's it. That's me.
Yeah, no, I totally understand what you're talking about. Yeah, that ticks me off too. I think a lot of it has to do with a degenerate gambling. I'm gonna have to say kind of addiction with this space.
Oh yeah.
And that fuels that, because even when people lose a lot, they'll go back and do the same things again, and we're really seeing it lately with certain things, which I'm not going to go into. But yeah, I totally agree, and I get the anger. So yeah, I think it was kind of therapeutic this week. I was really angry last week. This week I was like, I mean, I'm a little angry, but like I was trying to have a little fun with it. Not as angry as last week. Last week I was not myself, but whatever. It happens. So, yeah, we're going to go back to some Immutable news here. Let me kick my screen back up and get over to that. Huge announcement that Zkevm was finally here on the mainnet. It wasn't as... Oh, wrong one. It wasn't as a big of an announcement because we were expecting some games with it, but still, it is here finally, and it's what we've been waiting for.
Yeah, it's like it's a while ago now since this was announced. It was pretty much straight after our last pod, so it's nearly 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks from when the listeners are listening to this. But it still was big. It's another big pure announcement became an actual reality. So yeah. And it dropped with another, again, as a more developer focused announcement. Even the trailer was a developer style trailer. Build with us, blah blah blah. It wasn't gamers come and play this. We've got the best tool for you to game on. It was again focused on developers, very heavily. And it's early access. There's only limited, I believe, eight products at the moment that are allowed to touch the mainnet. So, 8 games that is. So we should. And being told that there will be a game very soon launching. So keep an eye out. Shardbound will probably have an announcement out by the time you listen to this. So I was wondering, is that another playtest on the Zkevm maybe?
Ooh, yeah, I seen that.
Or is it a release? Well, I guess you will know now. We're recording just before that's about to come out. So yeah, and it's exciting. But again, it was kind of like the GDC announcement where everyone thought something amazing was going to get announced, and it was. The Polygon's our partner. We're like, everyone's like, wow, well, who cares? Like, what games are they? But ultimately, it was one of the best things they could have ever done. It's just you're seeing it right now, what benefits had. So
right.
This is another one of those. You can see the game starting to sign up now so fast because they've got it out now and people can touch it. They can see that it's real, and that helps when you're going into BD in your saying, we've got the chain out now, rather than it's coming out soon.
Right, exactly.
So just to see already that the 50 VC games in the last 2 months that they've signed, how many will be the next 2 months now that the chain's out?
Yeah, absolutely. Huge announcement. I'm glad it's here so that we can, just know that it's here and the progress is being made. And like you said, when they did the Polygon announcement, we didn't see where exactly it was going, and I think we're going to be kind of repeating that process of like, okay, it's here, we don't have games, but the deluge will open and we will probably be swarmed with a bunch of games eventually here. And just like trying to cover all this stuff, we'll have a bunch to play, and trying to keep up with that, it's going to be interesting for sure. Yeah. In addition to that, the Immutable Tool Kit was kicked out. That's all our lovely SDKs, the withdrawals, the bridges, on-ramps. Probably, I'm assuming checkout's going to be involved in this. What's your thoughts on this toolkit?
The toolkit is another dev tool, but also we can use it. It is checkout. So all those things that you can do, there's 4 widgets that some of them have been disabled already. Because someone found a major bug that you could exploit.
Was that
make
you?
A lot of money. No, it wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
I put them in touch with the team, and then next minute, it's the swaps down, removed.
Oh, sweet.
So it's kind of just concerning, to be honest with you. That with GOG and their staking screw up, and they couldn't get the math right there.
Oh, jeez.
Now, and it's a similar story, mate. Someone was swapping something for USDC and was getting more USDC than they're supposed to.
Oh,
They
I
could
don't want to hear that.
yeah. So
Ah.
these things can happen, man.
No, I
Like,
know.
it's
I
quite,
know.
but it's
I get
they were
it.
probably testing in live and rushing it out the door. It's probably let's get it out. What's worse could happen. People could rip you off, and luckily they got someone that was very honest and went to them and told them straight away that it was they could have exploited them for money. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but
High five to that guy, whoever you are. If you're hearing this, high five to you. And yeah, let's hope they get their ducks in a row, because I do not want to go through anything ever again that's anywhere near what the GOG staking program was like.
just one last thing on the toolkit. So what they are widgets, which mean like any app at all can plug those into their website. So you can just like copy and paste it kind of thing in. So you can have that swap on your personal website. We can make a GamersGalaxie site and make a swap on our website because it's using checkout Dex, which is a Dex and Immutables tooling to do it.
Okay.
But it looked like they were doing it in GamersGalaxie's website. So that's what. But you can also go into their toolkit and do it live directly on their toolkit as well. But ultimately, that's more again more tools for devs.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's got the immutable passport on it, MetaMask, and then on the top left, you can check your balances, move coins, buy coins, and it clearly says widget on it. And yeah, it's advancement. And boy, now I'm like, hopefully they didn't rush this out too fast. So we will see, though. We will see. Speaking of rushing out too fast, yeah, this game. Riftstorm. I think we're up at Riftstorm, aren't we? Yep, Riftstorm. Yeah, they rushed out and were puffing their chests about going to Web3, and then they kind of, oh no, we're not. Run away. And I'm very upset because I was so looking forward. I mean, I'm still looking forward to the game, but I was so looking forward to this being on Immutable, and you were making a comment about how I put them in the 90s for my ranking, and I did that specifically because they are not willing to come out and say that they're a Web3 game. I don't know if they ever will be. I kind of hope so, and that they're on Immutable, because if they were, I would definitely have them in my top 10. You and I played this together. It was a lot of fun for what it was, and I see a lot of potential with this one.
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is not the end for Web3, but like their website redesign has really removed their. There's only one mention now of the whole website about crypto. It's called decentralization somewhere. I think it was on it. But yeah, I'll play the game anyway, even if it's Web 2. I think I don't know. I mean, like there's so many games like that that I could play the Web 3 now. So maybe I'll just play Cypher or something like that instead. But let's just see if they're going to try. Look, they know that people won't play the game if there's affiliation with Web 3. So maybe they're just doing a completely Web 2 version first, and then the Web 3 version will come after once the people are already sucked in, which makes sense. If I was going to create a game that was both, I would make the Web 2 version first, and then not even mention 3, and then as soon as they're sucked into the game and they like it, you can release the Web 3, and everyone leaves because all of a sudden there's another version of it that's Web 3, and then you're just an idiot.
Yeah, but I don't get. And unless they're just, rookies and didn't understand, but like when you show up to a Web3 conference and are speaking there on panels and you're putting out that vibe, it's going to get out real quick, and the internet's forever, So it's kind of hard to hide that you were doing that. So, but who knows? We'll see. I wish the game success. I had a lot of fun. Who knows? Maybe we'll go back and play it again. I had fun playing it with you that one day and recording it. And they even contacted some Immutable people to ask us to stop saying that we're a Web3 game. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, funny. I've got some breaking news just in right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So before we move into the Rubick short,
let me make the noise. All right, go ahead.
The founder of MetaClash, whatever the hell it is, what's it called? Meta something Clash, the destruction thing. Yeah, the game we just talked about, and we complained about the name.
Yeah.
That's just been announced. He responded to my top games. He said, "Oh, 53. Thanks for the mention." And I responded to him saying, "Take meta out of the game's name, and you automatically go up 30 places."
Oh, you did not just say that. Oh, I gotta
I did
find.
say
Oh
that.
no.
I'll back, mate. If you haven't put meta in your game title, you're going to cop it from me every single time, guaranteed, bud.
I'm trying to find the post right now.
I did do a. You go to my replies.
Yeah, yeah. Let me go to your replies. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
But if you, I did do a little poke tongue out, so hopefully he sees it's a joke.
Yeah, I would think so. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
but,
no, he was excited. Oh yeah, 53. He's got exclamation points after it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, dude. I'm gonna like it live as we're doing this. Very cool, very cool. Well, you got me all excited. I thought like some big. I mean, that's funny.
Yeah.
I like it, but like I was like, oh man, what are we gonna get?
No.
All right, so yeah, we're going into this is your time to shine. Rubick Shorts. What's happening on Immutable now? Why don't you fill us in?
I'm going to be honest with you. I've got information all over the place, and I've got a new system for writing my newsletter, and it's not working as smoothly as it used to be. Because it means before I used to copy paste and I'll be done, but now I have to do a little bit more than that, so I don't do it, and now I'm missing stuff, and so there's a lot of information. I'm going to have to work on this system to get better at it, so I can snap out 5-6 key points for the week. But there's Hydro. Is internal testing is happening now, so that's the first time they've mentioned that the game's playable. So, and then they're mentioning that a alpha test will come soon, which is in my top 10, Hydro, mobile-based ARPG. Battle Derby Season 2 is coming. They're open to collabs as well right now. They're really ramping up their content creation stuff, and they're getting a lot of momentum. They've gone from 5,000 to 15,000 followers on X in a couple of weeks. Big out of the blue, Moonstrike game. They're the one that had that real realistic moon-based creating game with, it looked like real picture, like a photographic kind of graphics, and they went to a real cartoony style graphics and changed that, to a real like Borderlands style to a degree, and changed to mobile. So from PC to realistic graphics to mobile and Borderlands style graphics. So they're actually, you can download and play the game now. It's in beta or alpha, mobile beta version for Android only. Xverse is got sign-ups for alpha now. I think we've already said it, but do sign up, guys. That game looks amazing. The physics of it look amazing. It really looks like a top AAA tier game. It's in my top 20, and that's a shooter. I think it's the top shooter or the second top shooter that made it for me. Metacore's been playable this week as well, so I think it's open to anyone now to play Metacore. That's the short news for Immutable.
Oh man, I gotta jump on that. I forgot about Metalcore going on. I wanted to playtest that myself, so hopefully I get some time and I can do that for sure. Sphere, which is the marketplace for Beam, they went live. Where's it at?
Yeah, it's kind of like the Immutable Zkevm release. They went live and there's nothing on it with Zkevm. So, who cares? We can't use it.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, by the way, just so you know, the founder responded and saying we'll consider it. So, we're changing the name for the 30 places.
That'd be funny if we become known as the podcast that's trying to get everybody to change their names. If you got meta or verse in it, we're coming after you.
You're done. Or Xverse, I don't know, man. I'm kind of like, I've given them a pass, haven't I?
Yeah. What are you gonna do? This next one, I didn't realize. I think you know a little bit more about this one than I did. Guantlet. I guess they're a kind of a economy-based third-party support system.
Yeah.
What do you got to? I've got a couple things that I found about them. What do you got so far?
Well, they've been a partner of Immutable for ages. They're not new. But why it's important now is they've come out, saying something recently, and also that they're like there's a big IMX next coming. Remember the announcement? I've just checked that website out just earlier today as well. It's the IMX Community Learn Dash More website with that circling more than 200 on the ecosystem, and IMX is next. Stay watch this space to see what's coming. These guys are the guys designing what's coming. So they're ones they do modeling, they do full on forecasting and design systems for tokenomics and for utility and stuff like that. So, and they're also a little bit technical as well, I believe. So they, work out what technical things people need to be able to do the things. So what infrastructure is needed to be able to do the outcomes they need. So maybe they build in the actual staking. Maybe they built the staking platform. You know what? That would be great if they did.
Yeah, jeez. Anything, please.
For a reason we've already mentioned today.
Yeah. One thing I did notice about them, I didn't have time to deep dive them much, but they are backed by Coinbase and several others, but the Coinbase one, it kind of caught my attention. The Ferguson brothers at a young age were given $6 million plus in funding to get Immutable off the ground. And, IMX got listed on Coinbase pretty quickly. I believe Gods and Chain is on there. There's definitely some synergistic relationships going on between Immutable, Coinbase, and anybody affiliated with them. So if you're in the Immutable ecosystem, whether you're a Merit Circle or the recent one today, oh gosh, I just went blank. Superverse. If you're one of those partners, you may have access to talk to the people at Coinbase and get some things going that you need. And that's what I love about Immutable is their networking. And I think as soon as there is regulatory clarity, any coins that are with Immutable games could be on Coinbase very quickly as soon as legals are cleared. And I think that's bullish for Immutable and anything under their umbrella. So just something I seen, but some big news last night. I did not have time to go through it. The infamous.
Do you know what I didn't know?
What's that?
Go on.
No, the infamous. We didn't know if it was a unicorn that we would never see again. The white paper is out for Guild of Guardians, and TONIN. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. He has a very concise, quick highlights of what is in it. I'm going to thoroughly go through it and look for what I think in it before I give my thoughts on it. But I would recommend anybody to check out TONIN's his summary on it. I've got it up on the screen right now. And also, we have asked TONIN, and he has accepted to come into GamersGalaxie. He's going to be heading up our, Spanish division, so to speak, providing content. If you don't know who he is, I would definitely give him a follow, as he has some awesome write-ups and some very good content videos for several games and ecosystems going on, but specifically Immutable and Guild of Guardians. And it's finally out, man. I can't wait to dig my teeth into it and see. They talk about the altar in it. Looks like they're talking about minting, in-game economy, which a lot of people want to see, merging inventory, core gameplay, and I'm sure there's some other nice juicy tidbits in there as well.
Cool. I didn't go into it because of TONIN. He's thanks for announcing him as our new 5th member, soon to be official. He's been announced, but we haven't set it all up yet and worked it out. But that's awesome. But his work on GOG makes me obsolete. I really feel inadequate when I don't need to put the energy in, because he just puts so much energy into his GOG content, and it's like, sweet, there you go, read that. I don't have to do it. So it's going to be so good to have him on the team to get the GOG news out to you faster and better and cleaner. Follow him if you're not, and we'll have him on the pod soon to introduce him as well, and get talking about who he is and why he's in Web3 gaming. He's supporting Immutable, but he's in Ronin, he's in everywhere. Like he's a really nice guy, and he just plays games. He's not a maxi, so it's good to have him on the team.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, what we got next here? Oh, yeah. Boy, I listened to this like a week ago, and I know it was decent, and there was some tidbits in there. The Navvik Robbie interview. You said that you remembered it, or you're pretty dialed in. So I'm gonna have to lean on you for this one, and hopefully some pieces come back to me as you're talking.
There was, I just took some brief notes. It was Merit Circle, lots of tools getting built by them, not just the marketplace was confirmed. The Robbie's about to announce a new game with 15 million funding and 120 dev team. I wonder if that's Pixelmon. And I don't think they've got 120. But they've just maybe we'll find out if they announce the 15 million launch raise, then we know it's that one. But it could be a new one. Ubisoft, it was asked about, of course, again, and there's like, he will have more for us this year. You can't say nothing now. There's no point asking him the question if we get him on again. And to interact, there's going to bring new ways to interact with Web3. So it's something new that hasn't happened before, they believe. So interesting, just kind of interesting. That was the most interesting thing. And he said they will have information on what they're building this year for Ubisoft.
Yeah, that's okay. As you were saying that was coming back to me. That was one of the big ones that I heard in there too. Was about the Ubisoft. Definitely want to know what they're doing. It's kind of the mystery that a lot of people wonder about. They had that big announcement last year, and then we haven't heard much about it. So that one, I'm not going to call that a pure announcement, but I could see a little bit of the naysayers like, oh, you announced something, but I think that's just kind of their MO. I mean, look let's revert back to Polygon. They announced that, and 6 months later, we're like, okay, we get it now. All right, so whatever. I'm gonna keep trusting him. He hasn't really done anything to lose that trust. So,
that's just people wanting their coin to go up more than the leaders. It's tall poppy syndrome. It's I put all my money here, and oh shit, these guys are the real deal. We're not. And what can I do? What can I do to play my part to at least get my money back, or make as much money as possible? That's all that is. That's just them and their absolute fear of being wrong and thinking that they can impact the narrative and therefore win by a narrative. The narrative dies as soon as content wins. You know what I mean? Like it's if your narrative is we've got all the gamers, and then 2 weeks later Mavia comes out and has 1 million gamers, you're no longer your whole talking narrative is dead in the water. Like actual product matters and results matter more than narrative, but it doesn't when there's no one winning yet.
I agree.
So anyway, the next point is I don't want to go into it too long. It was just a Coinbureau article. Like they try. Everyone sees them as the leaders. I like the guy. What's his name that does the comments? The videos. I don't watch him too often.
Guy.
He's really
nice.
Is
it Guy?
Guy, yeah, the guy. But sometimes it feels like they're like that big corporate media, place pumping out headlines for money, and like them. Immutable X, the future of NFTs and play to earn game with January the 1st, 2024. And it's this huge article on the architect of the team, the token, the partnership, and the conclusion. And it's like a huge document, and not once does the word Zkevm get mentioned into the whole article. And it's like as if there's no such thing as Zkevm, and they're basing their thesis on is this the future of gaming when it's the old chain that Immutable is not upgrading anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be there for anyone that wants to use it, and it's good for certain use cases, but it's not the future of Immutable. I found that really bizarre that they could let that go through. And anyone that's in the know, like anyone that doesn't know about Immutable is like, oh, okay, that's what they think Immutable is now. They have no idea about Zkevm. So that could have made what pissed me off this week actually, because they're big people with lots of viewers, and they've kind of sent Immutable and it bums to you.
Right. One thing I seen in there that caught my eye, the conclusion, it was talking about Ethereum rolling out their consensus layer sometime this year, and they're curious about how it's going to affect all layer 2 solutions, and they're still very bullish on Immutable in the article, but like that's something that I'm kind of curious about myself as that comes out. Whenever it comes out, because we know Ethereum is a little slow with rolling things out, and that's gonna be some of my final thoughts later also. But yeah, Did you have any thoughts about the conclusion with regarding the consensus layer and if it affects the L2s at all?
If the consensus layer brings Ethereum's gas price down, yeah, is that what they're saying?
Yep.
How much will that mean the Zkevm price come down? Zkevm's price is relative to the cost of immutable of Ethereum chains. You know, like they could easily, like if it's 20 cents an Ethereum charge, I mean, Zkevm is not going to say 20 cents. It's going to be 0.002 cents. So it's going to be way better for immutable if that happens. Like, okay. I don't know, man.
I got what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't read it. I skimmed it very fast and looked for anything at all. Like they're quoting things like Astro Boys, Astro Bros, Moody Crows, mate. Those haven't had a sale in over a year. Those items, like it's just such. It might have been even a copy paste of an old article, probably. But Kevin Farrell, Raj, mate, you've gone and wrote a 50 page. Summary of Immutable from a copy paster, I think, somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Yep. So, yep. Next up, we got Between Two Layers with the imaginary ones. I think you had some comments on this one. I was able to watch just a little bit of it, but you know a lot about imaginary ones, and so what was your thoughts on this Between Two Layers?
So there's 6 mini games plus imaginary world, and so I assume those mini games will be built into the imaginary world eventually. You can play them individually at the moment. They're big. They want to build the Web3 of Roblox, so Roblox of Web3. So I always thought, why aren't they making a bubble world that you can just buy bubbles, and spend tokens to buy the bubbles, and then you can build a world out of the bubbles? Like, it makes so much sense, like a Minecraft kind of game, and so that seems like they might be doing that, but they're going to aim it more at kids. They've got an imaginary kids channel on YouTube for education for kids about different things. And they're big on casual games. It's not going to be a real deep, challenging, strategical, I think very easy, low barrier to entry kind of games. And so I'm a little bit disappointed, but you're not building the Roblox of Web3 if you're not going to go for complexity. You know what I mean? Like, Roblox is extremely complex. Like the actual technical side behind it. So, and what people can build is amazing. So, we'll see. It was 22 minutes, and I got 3 points out of it. That was interesting.
Cool. Very cool. Awesome. Thanks for the update on that. Next up, you were on a Spaces with Mario Nafwal?
Nafwal. Like, he's that guy that's... Yeah, he gets a lot of crap, but he's like a big... ex-guy is on Space. He has 200,000-300,000 people sometimes, but he's down to about 4,500 people live on his Space. So he's pretty big still.
1.2 million followers. Whew.
Yeah, he lives in. I found out he lives in Australia because when he heard my accent, he goes, "You're Australian." He asked a question about Solana being the number one, and some people just making false statements in getting those big, similar thing to the Coinbase, big corporates. They lose track of what's reality. And I put my hand up, and he put me up on stage, but didn't ask me the question for a long time after he asked what I went up there to answer. And I just went, look, I don't know the answer to that question, but I put my hand up because I wanted to answer your question about Solana and why they haven't won the gaming race with this cheap Neos. Because I said Immutable's got 260 games building on it. It's the number one gaming platform, and it's because it's purely built for games. And no one said that. No one here on this Spaces has said that how much that matters. So yeah, I said that in front of 400,000 people. I'm going to clip it and put it into YouTube for everyone who wants to listen to it. So we can, and you can tell me how. I was a little bit nervous, to be honest with you. I've never spoken in front of that many people. I was like, and I was also representing Immutable, so I didn't want to screw that up. I think I did okay. I could have done better, but I did okay.
Awesome. Well, congrats. That's an awesome opportunity. Good job. So, yeah. Next up, we've got. So I'm a little lost in this. You were telling me about this something called Stargarden, and it looks like they've gone belly up to funding. You're definitely gonna have to carry me in this because I don't know anything about this one right here.
Well, it had a play test not long ago, and it looked really polished, and it was really good graphics, and it had a heap of sponsorship, like influencers taking it there, and they were looking for funding and never got it. They were building on Solana at first, and then they built on Sui. So again, they're building on Solana, and then they went Solana, and then maybe they lost money in the Solana FTX thing potentially. Like,
Oh, yeah, that could be.
and
That
then
could
they
be.
pivot, and these people that don't understand the power of Ethereum, they see, oh, Ethereum's dying. There's Ethereum killers everywhere. Solana's one of them. Squeeze one of them. They don't see the vision, mate. They don't see that, the amount of devs building tools matter, and Ethereum is 95% of all devs in the whole entire space, building tools on Ethereum-based products. So, maybe there's a little bit of a fear of investing in a game that's building on a chain like Sweet. Like, yeah, they've won some games, but they don't win anything exclusive hardly ever. And they're like their own little islands, and there's not many users. There are lots of bots, and lots of if you start spouting bot numbers and saying this is our look at our daily users, and they're bots, people know, and they go, well, you're lying, so you mustn't be that good. So, I think I think Swee's the reason why they're dead. If they were building on Ethereum, I think, or even stayed on Solana and didn't lose the money, I think that's over here because they were a top tier. I'm disappointed because they were a top tier dev team that was assembled, and their graphics were great, their content was great, everyone loved the game, and it's just a shame that a stupid decision to build on Sui probably cost them.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching the trailer while you were talking about that. It did look pretty sick. So, yeah, one of those things. Not every game's gonna make it, obviously. So, another one possibly bites the dust. Who knows? Maybe there's a comeback in them. This next one, AOF verse. There's another verse one. Why is the community unhappy? And I did a quick scan. So it looks like to me there was a severely botched whitelist allocation that was supposed to go to OGs, and it wound up going to non-OGs. A bunch of whales scooped them up, and the NFT prices went up to 2 to 10 ETH. And then these whales that were not OGs basically were holding the game ransom for massive amounts of airdrops. Am I on the right path here, or do I got this one wrong?
Yeah, there was a whale that bought like 140 on secondary and end up when they didn't announce what the airdrop was before the mint of their NFTs. And so, yeah, when I wrote that there, I didn't understand. I saw there's a lot of anger about it first. Didn't know why, and so I haven't updated that. So I know why now. They only allocate after they bought the NFTs. They only allocated 1% of tokens to NFT purchases, and they've upped that to 4% now, and it's made a lot more people happier. But the guy lost 100. The one that triggered the cascading, the drop of price, and that was a guy that's pretty famous. Who's never complained about anyone ever selling all these 140 assets for 170 grand loss or something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's this. It's part of what I complained about earlier. Like
Right.
crap game, crap out graphics, crap everything about that game. And it's up in the gameplay and the C, and there's all these promises, and it's all token, NFT, mint. It's nothing about gameplay, and people get wrecked. And now that guy will probably tell every single friend what happened to him, and they will never come to Web3 gaming, it's delaying. Every time this happens, it delays the success. I think Web3 is inevitable. People saying it, but maybe 20 years instead of 5 years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just. This has got to stop. You've got to stop getting people buying NFTs for games that think they're going to get rich. 95% of games fail. Yeah.
Right.
Web3 doesn't fix that. 95% of all games fail. Web2 or Web3. If you invest money in a game before it's out, before it's got buy-in, you are going to lose money 95% of the time. So get ready for it to lose your money.
Yep. I agree. A lot of games fail for sure. I think I heard a rate. I think it was 70-something%. I know you said 95%, but I think 75% don't make it after a certain point or something like that. It's pretty crazy. It's risky. It's risky to put money in them for sure.
75% of fail don't make their money back that they invested at any point in time.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
95% fail based on becoming profitable and having to get rid of their team.
Right.
So like if you're successful, you've made enough money to build another product or to expand on the product.
Okay, gotcha.
95% of games. It's within the first, and it's not like a long-term thing. It's in the first 2 or 3 years. Like it's a stat based on, some people make their money back, but then they have to close the game down anyway because they haven't made enough money to keep it going. Well, I'm not talking about a game that's been going for 20 years and then it shuts down. That would not be counted as a failure. It's a certain amount of success over a short period of time, and it's very small number of games.
Gotcha. This next one here, Ryan Watts, hostile takeover attempt.
Fwiz.
What?
So Ryan is the ex-CEO of Polygon.
Did I say his name wrong?
No.
Oh, okay.
His nickname's Fwiz, Fwiz.
Oh, okay.
Fwiz.
Oh, that's his.
Sorry.
Okay, yeah, no, that's his ex. Sorry, I'm a little fading here. It's been a long day.
All right.
Yeah, it's he's got here. I'm excited to share the optimism proposal for Treasure DAO. So, yeah, take me through this. You seem to know a lot about this one.
Yeah, Treasure DAO is so-called leader in gaming in Web3. They're building on Arbitrum, which was built. We all know why. We've said it 100 times that it was an easier tech to build than ZK. It got to market first, and it's riding the wave of being first to market. With and it's open contracts like Immutable X wasn't able to. It was API driven, all this kind of stuff again. But the Treasure DAO chose to build an Arbitrum because of their advancement, and they want to build this own chain. They want to be the Web3 game. They want to be known as where everyone builds. They're not. They've got a pretty strong community of people that follow them, and they've made a lot of money out of Arbitrum from airdrops. So I think $8-9 million. And Fwiz leaving Polygon as CEO to go to a sales role in Optimism, and he just tweets absolute like bent statistics all the time. You just laugh and go, "You're trying so hard to make people believe this garbage, man." But he thinks optimism, everything's going to be built on optimism in the future. He thinks he left what actually is going to happen. Polygon is going to be where 99% of Web3 is built in the future. DeFi, everything, the whole lot, across CDK chains. It's so advanced compared to everything else. And Optimism was first out, and it's nowhere near as good as equivalent chain. So his attempt to win gaming, because he believes he's a gamer, he comes from gaming, like he's YouTube gaming CEO. He's tried to win over Treasure DAO because it would look great for sales team to be able to go and say, look, we were able to attract Treasure DAO. I don't think Treasure DAO is going to go, but they offered him 30 million, I believe. 75 million or 30 million. A lot of money to go over. So I don't know if it's decided yet. We'll see. It'll be interesting. It's just funny that Arbitrum has fraud proof, so it's a little bit more secure than for an optimistic roll-up anyway, and optimistic roll-ups don't. So it'd be interesting if they do decide to go to the less security chain. They're pretty much identical.
Yeah. So, like the last couple days, it's been all over X with the airdrop for Mavia. Been a lot of buzz about the game. I know you're not too impressed with it. I like it personally for what it is. I've enjoyed playing it. We've started our own little guild or alliance in GamersGalaxie. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely a ripoff of Clash of Clans, and according to you, a poor one at that. Which I'm gonna take your word for that. I'm not really a big Clash of Clans player.
I'm playing it.
What's that?
I'm playing it every day. I've started the clan. Remember, you're in my clan now. I was okay. Go on. I'll tell you where I'm coming from when you finish.
I've been enjoying playing it. It's just kind of mindless clicks and doing it on the side. It doesn't take up a whole lot of my time, unless I had to grind to get that level 4 headquarters. I had to keep playing so I didn't get attacked and robbed. I'm sure there's a lot of bots in this. I got a nice little chunk of change for my airdrop. I was happy about that, and yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. If it generates some positive buzz for the space, I'm all about it. And will it last? I don't know. The time will tell. What's your thoughts?
I saw a poll. 50% of people said they stopped playing after the airdrop. So interesting. It's an okay. I didn't say it was bad. I just said that they're 5 years behind COP. I played COP for 6 years, maybe 5 years, and I ran a guild for 3 of that, where I built it into this super high performing guild. And there's 225 million players in COC, and I had a top 5,000 people, like the top, like there's probably 5,000 players in higher tier guilds than mine. So I'm that high in the leagues that we were winning. I think we won once and came second twice in like they had these third party leagues they used to run. You know, there was the main one called CWL, and then there was a second one which is MLCW, and that's the one I was in. And I also played in the CWL as well. We formed an alliance with the only Aussie guild, or one of 2 Aussie guilds in the top tier. And so I played. They borrowed me to go to do my attacks sometimes for them in their top tier. So we're pretty high quality, and I ran a YouTube channel to teach people. I brought people from useless to great at that game. I was so invested in that game. I spent over $1,000. So I'm coming from judging from someone that played a game that these guys are copying exactly, and I have a intimate understanding of what they're trying to copy.
Right.
And they're just so far behind, they're never going to catch up. Like, not in the next 5 years. But it's still fun, and it's Web 3, Web 2.1. You know, like, there's a million players, and how many of them even know it's a Web 3 game? Not many, because there's nothing indicating it's Web 3 on the download at all. Nothing. So there's no comment about wallets or anything like that I can see. You do that all on the web. So, you know, it's a positive overall that it got that many hits. But it's not the silver. You see all these people making comments, all the influencers as usual. Look, you know, this game's going to blow up. It's going to make Web3. It's not going to do that. People don't even know it's Web3. But it's fun. It's a game I'm going to play, and we've got it in our guild in GamersGalaxie. Join our Discord, and we can find out how to join our guild. And we're just going to play it and see what happens. But it's pretty polished in terms of their development skills. They're pretty good devs.
Yeah.
So they're building on B&B though, so that's a little bit scary.
Yeah. I wish, obviously, they were on Immutable, or, you know, even if they had, I'd rather be on Avalanche than B&B. And to be clear, I wasn't saying that you were saying it was bad. I just knew that your expectations of where you came from versus this was night and day. So that's what you said is what I was kind of trying to say. So yeah, it's been the buzz for the last couple of days, and it'll be interesting to see how it progresses now that the airdrop is over. Definitely going to be keeping my eye on that. And we're actually making pretty good time for once, which doesn't happen often for us. So we are at the final point of the show, and in the spirit of what we did earlier, I'll go first. It's the final thought of the week. And it's what you were saying. You were talking earlier about the differences between Solana and Ethereum, and how Ethereum was better. And I was just kind of grinning because my final thought's going to be around that. And my final thought is titled "Squandering First Mover Advantage." And where I'm coming from is I was thinking about the past when the internet first came out. I don't know what they had in Australia, but here in the US we had AOL, and MSN was kind of a big browser at some point, and there was this thing called Netscape. They would send us these CDs that we would put onto the computer, and they were pretty big. And then Yahoo came along, and then they were pretty big. And then eventually Google showed up and wiped out everybody. And I'm sitting here reminiscing about those times, and I'm thinking to myself, is Ethereum squandering their first mover advantage? We're watching all these different competitors come out, and while they're not better in a lot of things that Ethereum does, they're doing some good things that are definitely garnering attention. And what brought this final thought on for me was Solana just crashed again. It had been, I don't know, a year or two since they crashed, and I was expecting that price to dump. And the price went down maybe 1%. It went from like $95 down to $93. And not that I'm really focused on price, But that shows me that whoever's holding out there, they weren't shaken very much. And they don't care that they're sticking with that chain for whatever reason, whether it's good or bad. I think there's definitely some good in that chain. They have a lot of cool apps that are coming out for it. It clearly is cheaper. I think that they are using helicopter money to generate buzz and liquidity for their platforms, which, hey, governments do it and other ecosystems do it, so I can't really knock them for trying it. But my point is, Ethereum, they need to not take for granted their first mover advantage and how much power they have. And just like, I know you got to take your time to do things right, but the speed of this stuff, if somebody gets it right, they could lose that, and they could become the next AOL that had the power and then lost it to the Google that came along and did it better. So that's my thoughts of the day, of that I hope Ethereum gets on the ball a little bit quicker.
Interesting. Solana. I've come around with Solana. You remember what I used to be like about it. I got told off for my attitude, and I kind of took that, even though it was pretty hectic the way I was told, it was right. So I kind of I actually changed my tune, and I don't wish anything bad on Solana. And my concern was that they, from the messaging, as a dev, and from the little bits of information I got, is that they care about one thing and one thing only: speed, and they will sacrifice anything for that speed. And that sacrifice is being stability and security. They've had security breaches, they've had stability breaches, they've got bad design in their code that causes the founder have to send out emails to everyone begging them to restart their validators. Like, that could have been avoided if you write the right code. Slow down, build code in. It might slow your processes down, but there's been shortcuts with that chain.
Yeah.
And they've been cleaning it up. So
the big thing, just not to keep dragging this out, but so I got an airdrop from Solana recently. It cost me hardly anything to get it, and it was easy and quick. And today I got an airdrop with the Mavia with ETH, and it was relatively quick. It wasn't too long. No other issues, but to get that airdrop, get the coins authenticated, and then make the actual transaction a swap, I spent over $30 to make that happen, whereas on Solana I paid pennies. And it's like, this has been years of this going on, and their last big update, they promised, oh yeah, we're gonna get the fees down. It didn't happen. Is it as bad as it used to be? Maybe not, but we also don't have the volume we used to have. So
you talking about ETH?
Yeah, we don't have the volume that we used to have.
That's just lazy, mate. Why would they do that? They're on another chain. They could just drop it onto a chain like Polygon or Zkevm. They could choose a chain to drop that on. They chose to do that. That's in Ethereum's future is not Eth Layer 1. Consumers will not settle on Eth Layer 1 in the future. And Solana, that's fine having to go down for DeFi. I'll just go back and do it later. Yeah. But gamers want a game, man. If when your chain goes down, that would be 260 games on Immutable that the gamers can't play. Whether that's millions of gamers can't play.
Absolutely.
But can't play for 5 hours, man. That is destroying your, that confidence. You can't do that. You can't have a chain that does that. So
yeah, but you also can't have, and I know there's layer 2s. I get it. You can't ever have games on Ethereum, and I guess that maybe they don't care about that. But my concern is that someone's going to get it right to where it is on layer 1, and they don't have to go through the layer 2 system. And hopefully the layer 2s on Ethereum make that so that it's not relevant at that point, but we will see.
Well, they're already there to do it now, mate. So they're just lazy. So this narrative that we have to stay on layer 1 for some reason, have to mint on layer 1 and all this stuff, it's because of the fragmentation of layer 2s. And if this superverse that's coming out becomes one token and joins it all together, and there comes I think it's going to be Polygon Zkevm chains that will be all interoperable. You know, that will be the layer where people will choose. There'll be hundreds of chains they can choose from. They'll be all interoperable, and it'll be pennies on the like Solana fee, so maybe a little bit more than Solana, but at least you get the security of it staying up. You know.
Gotcha.
My final thought, mate, if we want to move on to the last thing, is I just thought it was funny. It's our favorite Ronan O'Dai Maxi Kagi. You know, he's you can see I put a tweet out about the old steps to get rich in crypto, and he knows he can't do that with Immutable, so that's why he's not here. You know, and he's making money a lot. You saw the big dump. I'm pretty sure he's smart enough not to tell people he's sold now. So, but I'm pretty sure part of that huge drop off would have been his accumulation of hundreds of thousands of RON going into that 60-70 cent drop. But yeah, the funny thing is he's trying to diss Illuvium with CryptoMon. I think I mentioned it earlier, and it just, I'd love to be a fly on the wall and just see when he finds out that they're building on Immutable. He's been like pumping it like crazy. That's just something very petty and minor for me this week, end of the day. But yeah, overall, you know, it's been an amazing couple of months, and this week has not let us down as well. There's just been so much happening on Immutable to bring to everyone. So hope everyone enjoyed today's episode about what's going on around the world of Immutable and some of the side things that are happening.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree on your thoughts. I think he'd be mad for a couple minutes, and then he'd move on to his next pumpin' Kagi, and that's my new term I'm carrying, pumpin' Kagi, because that's what he does. He pumps and then he Kagis on you. So anyway, that was episode 28. You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Pumpin' Kagi. So,
pumping Kagi. Yeah, yep. I like it.
Episode 28 in the books. We got some interviews coming up, and don't forget to join our Discord. We got a lot of good stuff going in there right now. You might get some alpha ahead of time and find out about some good prize hunting pieces that Rubick just so happens to find very quickly. And check us out on our socials. We're on X. We do have a YouTube channel. This will come out in audio first on, what is it, RSS? What's that station? Yeah. Is it RSS?
RSS, yeah.
Yep, it'll come out on RSS first, and then a few days to a week later, we kick it out in video with some visuals usually on YouTube. And that wraps it up for us this week. Everybody take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.